Hey guys, what's up? It's summer, as in the season, as in the sun, and in today's video we're going to be talking about books. If you clicked on this video and you're not a reader, this video is for you. If you don't like books or you don't enjoy reading, but you at least like 15%, maybe even like 25% have been considering to read, I got you. So I'm going to be talking about the books that I started reading that kind of got me back into reading. I have a short little mini story for that if you guys want to listen to that. But if you just want to get to the other part, I will leave it in the description box where you can click and just go on to the suggestion part. So recently I had a friend tell me that he actually like wanted to get into reading, but he just didn't really know like where to start, or like he always ended up picking bad books that just kind of made him not want to read. I suggested some of the books that I'm about to be suggesting to you guys to have him to read. But so I went through this phase where I stopped reading, and I didn't really, I'm not gonna say I didn't like reading, but it's just like no. I wasn't for it per se. High school, there was that. The ending of high school just crushed me. Beginning of college just crushed my reading. All right, it really did. But then a lot of these books brought me back to liking reading, and I've always kind of been the type of person that like will buy books or will go to the library and get books. So the very first one is called Sister's Entrance, and this is a poem. I started reading this book because it was a sad time. Okay, it was just a sad time. Yeah, so her country is going through a genocide currently in this book, and you were hearing about like her raw experiences of this, and it's really crazy if you think about it, because she's really, I really don't even know what else to say besides like super raw about it. I think she actually won the world what is it called, the poetry slam competition championship or whatever. She won it. It was either 2015 or 2016. Yeah, she's amazing. I love this book. Like, I've reread it so many times. So next book, I'm actually just going to count these as two since they are by the same people. Ruby Kaur, Milk and Honey, and The Sun and Her Flowers. Now I know a lot of people have a lot to say about a lot of these books, honestly. Sorry, I kind of got this one dirty. This one was the one that was written first, and this one was the one that was written like in 2017, so kind of recently. I honestly think that they kind of got popular off of her putting it on Instagram, and then people realized that it was like a poem, or like they realized that it was like a quote. I think, I don't know. I don't know. They don't tell me nothing. This book I actually do not have with me, but I got it from like the library, and it's called Mother Night. It's about this guy, Mr. Campbell, and Campbell is a spy. And it kind of starts off with him being in jail because it starts in the setting of like World War II, or technically after World War II, but it's kind of like flashbacks of stuff. He was an American citizen, but he grew up in Germany, and he basically ended up becoming like a Nazi and was kind of like considered a war criminal. Okay, so this next book that I'm about to mention, I already know. If I'm going to be honest with you, I think the actual title in itself is very contradicting. Like, I feel like if a lot of people see you reading this book, they're like, oh my gosh, like you're reading this book to try to figure out how not to care about life. But it's like, in actuality, I feel like he's very raw, and like he kind of loses me when he starts talking about like himself a lot and all of that, but I do think he does make a lot of valid points when he talks about the value of suffering. The next book I don't have with me. I think I actually got this book when it came out. I was telling people about this book. I was like, this book right here, like it's about to blow up. And it's The Hate U Give. The next book I'm going to recommend, I actually have not finished this book, and this book is called Am I Enough? Is very much so written from a Christian perspective. Basically, she talks about the struggles in and out of her faith, because I feel like a lot of people want to act like they didn't have like, or they do not have struggles in and out of their faith, and they just kind of act like everything's like perfect, and you know, you're just like in this perfect world of like faith and everything's just great, and you know, if you're just that saint that's just walking like that, that's cool. But for the rest of us, it's gonna be real about it, okay? Yeah, so I think this is a good book, and I think it's like a very easy read book. Next book is The Color of Water, and I actually was recommended this book, and I actually ended up really liking it. I again did not finish this book. I was like 20 or 30 pages off from finishing it. I just think it's a really good book. I think he talks about like it's really like a lot about like his family, and he talks about like his siblings and all of that, and It kind of reminds me of like James Baldwin, honestly. But I don't know, I think it's really interesting, and it has like a bunch of different like flashbacks and things, and in reality you start to realize that like he's consistently telling you that he doesn't know his mom, or like he didn't really know who his mom was. So the next book is kind of, I think it's actually considered in a poetry category, and it's called Brown Girl Dreaming. The very last book that I'm going to recommend, The Way I Used to Be, is basically a book about a teenager named Eden. This book actually is told in 4 parts. You experience like her entire life through freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and senior year. She actually was like sexually assaulted, and she was sexually assaulted by her best friend's brother. And for anybody that like is super triggered by books like that, it's not graphic, it's not super descriptive, it's just enough to like know that like she knew what was happening. It's probably like everyone's least favorite. I don't know, most people that read a lot of books, or I don't know, since this is made for beginning readers, you guys might think differently, but The Way I Used to Be, gonna recommend that. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know if you're not a reader and you do decide to read some of these books. Let me know if you are a reader and some of these books you've already read. I'd love to know your suggestions. Comment down a book that you've read that you love, regardless if it was in this video or if it wasn't in this video. And yeah, let me know. Comment down below. I'll give you some time. Yeah, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
But lately you've been acting brand new. You were so different when